Hey, Fred, do you think of baseball as more of a team sport or an individual sport?
Well, it depends on your perspective, Matt. It's a team, but success depends on individual effort. What do you think?
I think it's a team sport, and even the fans are part of that team. We're a big, happy, baseball-loving family.
Oh, Matt, you just might be the wisest member of that family, a family that's lasted for generations.
People, let me tell you about my best friend. He's a warm-hearted person who loved me till the end. People, let me tell you about my best friend. He's a one-boy cuddly toy, my up, my down, my pride and joy. People, let me tell you about him. He's so much fun. Whether we're talking man to man or whether we're talking son to son, 'cause he's my best friend. Yeah, he's my best friend. La la, ba da 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 ya, ba da 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 ba da 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 ya.
Hello, welcome again to Bucco Banter. I'm Fred Rossano.
And I'm Matt Peaslee.
Well, Matt, quite a bit of difference from the last time we met. I think the Pirates were 5-2 back then. Now they're 9-12. A little bit of blame to go on just about everything: the starting pitching, relief pitching, the hitting.
Yeah, it's definitely not off to the hot start that they were. They kind of got slowed down up in Milwaukee with a 3-game road trip up there a few days ago. Just the house of horrors that Miller Park is to the Pirates. 2-3 years ago, we can't win a game up there, and it's just maybe that curse of the Brewers. They were kind of down last year, but now they're coming back up. They're the best team in baseball, and we saw that in PNC Park last weekend over Easter weekend. Pirates start off on Thursday with an 11-2 win over them. We think that maybe they can get back on track, find the pieces together. They lose Friday, they lose Saturday, they lose Sunday, and really they were in a position to win 2 more of those games with Jason Grilli coming in for the save, but serving up 2 home runs on 2 nights to Ryan Braun.
One of our favorites.
Of all people, it had to be him that wins it for him or sends it to extra innings for the Brewers, and just didn't feel right after that.
No, it just didn't seem like everything was clicking. That it always seems like against the Brewers, but I think that game Saturday night really incensed me about with Martin Maldonado, I think is his name, when he went cleats up high to take out Jordy Mercer. And stuff like that shouldn't happen in baseball. I don't care. Then the next day,
I think it's even
he
uglier.
comes out, he's not even in the game, and he comes around and sucker punches Travis Snyder from behind like this. When Snyder was trying to stop Gomez, and he sucker punches him right in the eye.
Yeah, that was.
I tell you, if the way the old rules were written in baseball, the unwritten rules, I'll tell you what. When Snyder comes up, and Maldonado's catching, something is going to be said, because Snyder will not take that. And there could be a brawl breaks out then, or if that doesn't happen, then he should be put down on his butt right then.
Yep. Well, even the other,
not at his head, but he needs to be thrown at, and that's the end of the story.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, how about that? Did you hear what Russell Martin said to him? Russell Martin wants to fight Maldonado after the season. He said once my contract's up and we're free, I'll go after you. But that brawl on Sunday kind of got started when Garrett Cole mouths off to Gomez a little bit after looking at what he thought might have been a home run, ends up being a triple. What was your whole take?
And he said he thought that the ball was going to be caught. Does that make any sense?
The way he looked at it, flipping his bat and looking at it, he thought it was a home run to dead center field. Yeah. And but again, I've seen some of the Pirates players do that too. The night Kutch did something like that, Neil Walker kind of looked at his home run a little bit like that too. But did Garrett Cole have a right to say something to Gomez like that, do you think?
I think he did, but again, it must be something with the player, because Gomez has crossed this.
He's done that before with McCann in Atlanta last year, so he is a little bit of a hothead, and maybe he just wanted to calm him down a little bit. But it actually helped that he took some time getting out of the box. Why not just being a triple? He could have made that an inside the park home run, but again.
But beyond that, they don't seem to be on just clicking on all cylinders. Each night. I'm a little bit worried about the relief pitching, especially because all of them have been.
No, right. It's not as lights out as it was last year. Yeah. And then even the carryover of having like the entire bullpen back this year, they're not their same selves as they were at the end of last year.
They're humans, I guess.
Yeah.
But, you expect a little bit more, and everybody's shared in the blame. I don't think anybody's really been lights out since day one like they were last year.
Right. I think the Grilly's blown more saves this year than he has all of last year.
Yeah.
Tony Watson's been a little bit shaky. Stormy Pimentel and Genmar Gomez haven't been themselves.
Justin Wilson.
Yeah, the guys that were starting to come into their own last year are definitely regressing a little bit early on this year. But like you said, it's still early. They've only been through 20-some games. There's 160-some left to go.
And every year this happens, and every year we get into the same thing again. That every Pirate fan, you expect the worst, I think.
Right.
But look what happened last year, and it could start to turn around tonight.
Right.
And the good pitching, some timely hitting, some good relief pitching, and they'll be back up again over 500. You just don't want to get a little bit too far under 500, because then that's too much of a hill to climb after that. But
well, another piece we just received last week, Ike Davis, to help the offense a little bit.
Yes.
He kind of was on the outs in New York. There's kind of all offseason we were kind of talking about Ike Davis as being that guy to come in for the Pirates at first base, working with some kind of trade, but it finally worked out. We give up Zach Thornton, a minor league pitcher, to the Mets, and a player to be named later. But Ike Davis comes in, looks to be the everyday first baseman in his first 3 or 4 games with the Pirates. He's done a pretty good job. He hits a grand slam. He's collected like 5 hits already and 12 at bats.
Not too shabby. I think
done okay.
This is a guy who had 32 home runs a couple years ago, and they're going to face a lot of right-handed pitching, so he'll be in that starting lineup hopefully a lot. Reminds me a lot of Adam LaRoche.
He looks like him too.
Yeah, he looks like him too, but. Hey, we'll see. Who knows? Maybe the next time we have Bucco Banter, they'll be back to 3 or 4 games over 500.
That's the goal, and we'll keep plugging away, finishing up a series against the Reds, and we're still sticking it with those NL Central opponents. And then in a couple weeks, we'll see where it stands at the end of April. Fred, going back to our buddy Martin Maldonado, he actually did something more unique in the Pirates series last week. Knocks the cover off a baseball. Sharp hit to third base. Pedro Alvarez fields it, and the cover is ripped off of it. Is that?
And look what I have here. No, Bucco breath. This is not the ball that Martin Maldonado hit. This ball came from spring training in 1996. Ooh. Now I'll give you a little bit of background on this.
Sure.
The people at the paper here were nice enough to pay for the lodging for myself, John Enrietto, who was the sports editor at that time, and DJ Watts, who was the main photographer at that time. And we spent some time in Bradenton, obviously, nice. But then we went up to, I believe it was Jupiter, Florida, for the spring training where the Cardinals, I don't know if they're still there or not, I don't believe they are, have their spring training in had their spring training in Jupiter. And we went there to talk to Joe Patini, who is from Windsor Heights, West Virginia.
Okay.
And which is right across the river from us here. And he was one of the coaches. I think he was the AAA manager at the time. And we went there to talk to him. And I remember I was looking down on the ground. I said, I need to have some souvenir from this place. And so, the guys were working out, and I spotted this ball there, and I sort of moved over to it. It was just laying there in the grass.
Okay.
And as John was talking to Joe Patini, I said, I'm going to make my way over there. And I went ahead and took it and put it in my pocket. So there it is again from 1996. It's starting to dry out a little bit, as you can see, but who knows? I'm trying to think of who some of the players were back then.
Could have been Mark McGuire. Was he over with?
I don't know if he was with them then, or he might have been with them then. But I prefer to think it was maybe Ozzie Smith, maybe
the end of his career,
or I think they had Ron Gant and
Ray Langford.
Ray Langford.
I remember that.
Ray Langford was on the team, and I can't remember. They were a so-so team, but that was also that was the time when the Pirates were starting to make their way up again.
Yeah.
From the doldrums there for the mid 90s or whatever. But It's a great memento that I've always kept. It's already 96, 2006. It's almost 20 years old.
Jeez.
Look at that. Go ahead, touch it. It's
Wow, that's pretty cool. And it even smells like Florida.
And I have it and you don't.
Ask the experts. Ask the experts. Ask the experts. Ask the experts.
And now it's time for the extremely popular segment of Bucco Banter called ATE.
Ask the experts.
That's me and him.
All right. I'll take the hat first.
Okay, he's taking the hat first, ladies and gentlemen. First question. Who will be the most improved Pirate in 2014? This is Matt of Youngstown who wrote that.
Okay, I know him. Yeah. Who will be the most improved? You know, last year Francisco Liriano was the comeback player of the year, so I think he was kind of obviously a big improvement, not only for the Pirates, but for the entire National League. So far, it's Edison Volquez.
I knew you were going to say that.
I've liked him since day one. I like that signing. I like what Ray Sears has done with him, and he's done well in his first four
He's done
starts.
extremely well.
Just the other night with his pitching duel with Johnny Cueto, I mean, he kind of faltered there in like the 7th or 8th inning, but he gives you 6 strong innings each time out, 1 hit ball, and I think from last year, from where Volquez was at this point last year, the year before that, he's definitely going to be our strong number 2 starter for the rest of the year, I believe.
Question number 2.
I'll look up Matt when I get back to Youngstown.
What's wrong with the starting pitching? Lenbo of Steubenville.
Again, we can talk about maybe a little bit of a regression from last year. Liriano's not as sharp as he was. Charlie Morton's kind of been my biggest disappointment. You can't really look at wins and losses as a pitcher, but he hasn't won yet. Garrett Cole's doing okay, a little bit shaky. Again, outside of Volquez and maybe Liriano, the rest back end. I mean, Wandy Rodriguez is now on the disabled list. Whether that's a real injury or a phantom injury to kind of just give him some rest to figure out what is wrong. It's hard to pinpoint what exactly is wrong. I mean, but maybe they're not as maybe last year could have been a flash in the pan a little bit, and that's their strongest years for them. But who knows? Again, it is still early. I say just get him out there. Last year the rotation was strong, obviously, but you have Jonathan Sanchez who kind of brought the rotation down, and who forgot about him. And I think the Pirates kind of picked it up as the year went on. We talked about that Francisco Liriano didn't make his first start until May 21st of last year. So maybe it's just going to take him, not just Liriano, but take the rest of the rotation some time to get some pitches in, see some different hitters, and get on from there. I mean, we've seen the NL Central this entire time. Let's see some NL West opponents or some East opponents before we can kind of.
Maybe the warmer weather will heat them up too.
Yeah, it's getting cold in Pittsburgh, so let's heat it up come May. You ready for this?
Oh, I'm ready.
Let's see who sent you some questions. Don't watch the tail.
I know, man. I don't want to lay on my brain too much. Okay.
Now here we go. This question is sent in from Barney of Tarentum, PA. Will Jeff Locke, remember that name, Jeff Locke be a starter for the Bucks by July 1st or by the end of the year? Now, you know he's down in AAA now. Will he?
He hasn't gotten off to that great of a start.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm getting a little bit concerned about him. He needs to be able to spot his pitches perfectly, or else he's not going to be successful. And he was unbelievably successful
At the beginning of
the year. Last year, he was an all-star, but this year it seems to be. And the last year and this year seemed to be a different story. I know he was injured and all that, but he seems to be not being able to do what he wants to do out there.
Right.
But maybe just a little bit more seasoning down in AAA there to get him.
Because they're giving the ball to Brandon Compton to make that spot start, so that just shows that they're not really totally faithful in Locke yet to see what he can do. So, again, just give him some time and see what happens.
Hopefully, yeah.
One more question for you. How should teams handle situations such as the one that occurred in the brawl against the Brewers? Revenge is an option? And this is sent in from Fearless in Follansbee, West Virginia.
Well, I think I touched on that a little bit earlier. I really think that those things should. I know they had the problems with Chapman last year and with the Reds off and on and off and on. I think they should be decided. If you think you're being thrown at, or any type of situation that occurred, you retaliate, not to injure the guy, but you come back and you give them the message. You don't do that on our, against me or against our team. You do it again, and it seems to be over. It's never failed for years and years and years. And all of a sudden, you have to sort of, plan out when you should, try to retaliate or not. And I really think that, throw at his legs, make him get the message, mess with us.
You got to stand up for your team either way, anyway. Do you think the suspensions are just 5 games for Gomez?
Oh, yeah.
5 for Maldonado and all that?
I think they are. I mean, you can't go out there. I mean, this isn't hockey or whatever. And even in hockey, you can't be a third man in a fight or whatever. You're going to get suspended. But you just can't have that because most of the time they don't get hurt anyway. It's just a lot of pushing and shoving. But that almost got a little bit out of hand there the other day. But
you don't see too many black eyes like Travis Snyder got. I mean, that guy he got hit pretty good.
No, he did. If he could have gotten hurt 2 ways if his glasses weren't in the way, but then he had sunglasses on and was trying to basically get Gomez in a bear hug. It seemed like to me, and then Maldonado comes from behind it with a cheap shot in which he obviously got the most games, 5-game suspension, but they'll appeal him, so we'll find out. But I think eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth type of thing.
Yep.
To end it right then.
Yep. And
without letting it go ahead and simmer and go into the next series, whatever, it should end right there.
I'm sure the next time Pirates play the Brewers, the umpires are going to get involved and say, hey, they're going to probably warn the benches right away.
Yeah, like they did last year with the Reds.
Yeah, well, thanks again for sending in those questions. Another great week of questions, and we look forward to hearing from you again for the next Bucco Banter.
Take it easy, and we'll see you in a little while.
Go Bucks.
Around.
Oh, because I don't want to start
Who's the key grip here, by the way?
You're not even a best boy.
I used to do key grip for Channel 9 one.
Hey, Fred, do you think... I think it's a team sport, and even the fans are part of that team. We're a big, happy, baseball-loving family.
Oh, doggone it. That's your fault.
Stand on the other, get out, just leave altogether.
Do anything.
Go stand on the other.
You will say,
Water.
oh, it was perfect.
You just might be the wisest member of that family. A family that's lasted for generations.
Oh, it's so good.